Hey, y'all.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome
What's
to
going
Committed
on?
and Covered, all things marriage and family.
Yes. Hopefully, our shot is looking good. Look like we got a little double thing going on, but I know we.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Double trouble.
It's kind of like whoa. So we're supposed to be looking at you guys anyway. So,
Amen.
How are you
Right.
guys doing this evening? I know it's just a handful of people out there. We want you to like and share. You know, our faithful road dogs are with us. We see Vaughn. Vaughn, that's cute. You said, I feel this is my home church. Well, you know, when I said Vaughn, you know,
We have, this is our family bond.
Yeah, two Vaughns for the price of one.
Yeah, that's our family Vaughn.
Yes.
And Nana is still Sabbath. You're correct. So happy Sabbath to you as well. So we
Amen.
want you guys to start lighting up the chat. Like and share, you know, wake somebody up and tell them, hey, come on in and enjoy yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And Shirley, thanks for, double vision. Do you see it too, Shirley?
Yeah, do you see it,
We
Shirley?
gotta
Do you
work
see
on
double
it.
vision?
It shouldn't be now. So
Yeah,
our producer
yeah.
fixed
Okay.
it. Our faithful producer fixed it. So guys, we're excited to be here with you. Last month, we didn't get a chance to roll with you guys, but we're here today.
Right, we're here today
And so
with our guests.
Go ahead, babe. Introduce.
Our guests,
Yvonne.
yes.
Rashid.
Yes, they're not new to Committed and Covered. We've
Amen.
had them before, so we want to welcome them again. And again, welcome you all.
Yes,
so come
and
on.
Celia, welcome. You are a part of our OUC
That's
family.
right, yes.
Everybody who jumps in with us, even if you've been here one time, it's kind of like when you register for Oakwood University. If you just go take one class, you're an
you part of the family.
You know, when they say alumni stand up.
Everybody stand up.
Yeah. Even if you came to college days.
Yeah.
Well, I'm dating myself. Or Oakwood Live, you are an alumni. So, guys, you are a part of this family, this
Amen.
Oakwood University church family, and you just grafted in.
Right.
Amen.
All right.
So today our topic is called post-holiday blues. So post-holiday blues, because we're in January, New Year, after the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you may say post-holiday blues. Yes,
Yeah.
the holidays are over, and suddenly some people may feel sad, may feel overwhelmed, or even irritated.
Yeah.
Right?
Mercy.
Yeah.
And
That's
so we're
real.
going to talk about that topic today. But first, we have an icebreaker. You know,
All
we
right.
have to do
All right.
icebreakers, right? So,
Ease the people
and
into
then,
it.
Ease the people
and
into
then
it.
I'll elaborate more on the topic once we do the icebreaker.
okay, there you go. So when the holidays ended, what was the first thing that reminded you, like, yep, we back to real life?
And you guys in the chat, drop yours in the
Yes.
chat
Yeah,
too.
let
We
us
see
know.
you, Sister Kimberly. We see you, Sister Teresa and Shadow. Drop yours in the chat too, guys.
Right. Yes.
Tired.
So
That's
again,
what Vaughn said.
Yeah.
Vaughn said tired. Okay, so again, when the holidays ended, what was the first thing that reminded you, like, yep, we are back to real life?
You want to go first?
I started counting down the days to work.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
How many
coming
days?
soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it's going to sound bad.
Okay.
Pray
But
for
it's
me.
yours.
Pray
Okay.
for
We're
me.
praying, preacher.
It was communion. It was
Had to
communion.
work.
It was good. Right. Immediately, it was New Year's Eve. And we had a pastoral retreat, and we had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And so communion was like the first day, like, yep, we back to work. You know,
Isn't that
you rinse your sins in the basin, and you take up the body and the blood, but it was back to work. You know what I mean? And so once that hit, it was like, okay, yeah, playtime is over, and then Sabbath came, and then of course the beginning of the new year and school year. So
yeah. It's almost like the bell ringing. You're like, I'm in class.
Exactly.
I'm in school.
Yeah.
I gotta ride the bus.
I gotta ride the bus. I gotta get up in the morning. Yeah.
You start naming off all kinds of stuff. Well, what about you, Sister Taylor?
I would have to say it's more like Vaughn. Not that I don't enjoy my work, my job, but just I was off for about 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I'm like, I kept thinking about, Monday, I got to go. Well, really, I actually went back to work January the 2nd, which was that Friday.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, man, back to the hustle and bustle, working and doing A, B, and C and all those things. And, just being off for 2 weeks, I enjoyed that time.
Amen.
So that was constantly on my mind. And so as, we were talking about what our topic was going to be this month, it was supposed to be in December.
Right.
Yeah.
But we had to postpone
missed
to
it.
January.
Sorry.
So we said we'll call it post, which it typically does transcend into the new year as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I said, I was feeling that way, like a little down,
Yeah.
that I got to start back the hustle and bustle of things. So yeah,
Well, Shadow, she said the holidays didn't feel right this year.
Something was
us.
off.
Something was off. We feel you on that. And Rosalie said no more Christmas cards.
Carols.
I'm
She
sorry,
said carols and decorations.
Decorations
Right.
gone.
Yes.
And what did Nana say?
She said when people started circling back about topics at work,
And Sister Kimberly said,
tightening up that wallet.
Yeah.
And those are, and the things that you're listing and that we're sharing,
Yeah.
those are part of the post-holiday blues.
Yeah.
Something that we often may not really think about.
No. Yeah.
and it's real, right? So, like, for me, it was like over the holiday, you don't have to wake up early, right? So I'm like, when I don't have to wake up early and I can just do whatever I want to,
Yes.
I'm good. But when I know I have to get up early for some reason, obviously for some type of employment, it's kind of like, man, I got to get up. But even when I wake up early on my own, it doesn't matter. It's just for some reason when I got to wake up for something else.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things.
That's true.
Yeah. So what Sister Taylor's talking about with this post-holiday blues, we were going to talk to you guys about SAD. SAD is an acronym. Actually, SAD is a diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's found in the DSM, and it's called seasonal affective disorder. And oftentimes, not oftentimes, it happens during the holiday season.
Yeah.
That's why it's called seasonal affective disorder. But it can happen in different seasons, right? But
Yes.
it's really mainly attached to the holiday season. One might ask, well, why is it attached to the holiday season? Because usually it's the season of family, fellowship, love. Just it's supposed to be a time where everything just is right.
Yeah.
And for some of us, like what our sister in the chat said, it just wasn't quite right this year.
Yeah.
When it's ongoing, when it's repetitive, when it becomes a part of you, then and it disrupts your daily routine, it can be diagnosed,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's where we get SAD from. And it's amazing that it's SAD, but it's seasonal affective disorder. So so today and tonight, this evening, wherever you guys are, that's what we're talking about. For some of us, not necessarily the diagnosis of SAD,
Right.
but there's just something about post-holiday that just can be a drag.
Right. Yeah.
You
And
can
what
even
it-
make a New Year's resolution and you've already broken it. And it's kind of like, man,
Yeah.
those
And-
donuts called me.
Yeah.
But, and
yeah.
even as I stated earlier, when I look at what does it look like? What does post-holiday blues look like? It can be anxiety, stress, mood swings. Definitely if you've lost a loved one or during the holiday seasons or around that time, you're thinking of that loved one and, lack of motivation, fatigue. And when I talked about irritability, definitely with the spouse.
Did you just touch my arm and say definitely with a
Well,
spouse?
get my
Yeah, she did. I saw that. I saw that.
Because this is my baby. This is my boo.
you
Right,
saw
my
that, yeah,
baby.
That's it. Irritability.
Seeing them all day, I'm sad.
Yeah.
But even if
And
as
instead of seasonal, it's situational.
Situational affect disorder.
I'm situationally sad.
but and then also too money. Around the holiday time, as couples, if you're on different pages of how much
Yeah.
you're going to spend,
Yeah.
or if you both of you overspend,
Right.
money situations. So those are some characteristics of what it looks like.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And we see you, Teresa. That's that new normal's discipline. That's true. So Henrietta, what'd you say?
She says, in an attempt to avoid it, I take down my decorations gradually as we speak. I still have most of them up still.
No, that's real.
That's real. I used to be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it went all the way into the
our
summer.
Christmas tree. Our Christmas tree made it to the summer. We would be like, you getting it? You getting it? I mean, you're supposed to get it.
Yeah.
Our agreement was you get it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and Shirley.
Shirley says, for some people, the holidays remind us of loved ones we've lost, and so the new year can feel like a fresh beginning. Yes, Shirley. And Shadow says, yes, we lost a family member the day before Thanksgiving, and that pretty much set the tone for Christmas, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we can understand that.
And that's the thing. So in 2026, when the year comes around, you remember those loved ones lost, and for some reason, it can really drive depression home. For some people. So that's really the undergarment of sad. That it's depression. That's really what it is. So it's depression played out during the season, and it's just a different look of it. Even when we look at stats around the world, right? It's a low number of people who confess or who say I have seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
It's really like in the single digits when it comes to percentage, maybe 9%, 14% worldwide. But I think it's because people don't really know how to look at it and say, you know what?
Yeah.
It might be more seasonal than anything else.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. And some people may not really know what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like I said, I was kind of feeling like, a little down about it. I wouldn't say depressed, but just, I kept thinking about it.
Yeah.
But then when we started talking about when we were supposed to actually have it in December, I was like, you know what, that was me. I never would have looked at it like that, seasonal.
Yeah.
So you were feeling that when I was like, let's not buy Christmas gifts?
Oh. Well, I already expect that because
She was
that's
seasonally-
every year. That's
was
not really a
seasonally
seasonal
affected,
thing. That's really not a seasonal thing. I know that about you.
Oh, you know that about me?
I know that about you.
She was seasonally affected because I'm like, no Christmas gifts this year. We're just going to love on each other because Jesus is the reason for the
Amen.
That's
Amen.
true.
And he paid it all.
season. He did, Pastor Rashid. He paid it all. And all to him we owe.
We owe.
But-
Not to
Amen.
each other, right?
But
I like
that is one of, in researching this topic, that was one of the things that between couples can be an issue if one of the spouses felt like they were gypped during Christmas, didn't really get what they wanted or expected. So hey.
I'm scared to ask about putting that in the chat. If you felt like you were
Were
done
you
wrong,
robbed?
Yeah.
Not this year. Not this
An
year.
uneven exchange. So we're not going to do that because
Yeah, we won't start no fight.
if you're with
That's
somebody,
right.
that just might start something.
Yes.
But what we're going to say is just keep it in your heart. Right?
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
for not next year, for this year, we're going to have a.
Amen.
But it also said that it doesn't always show up as sadness, but again as irritability, like your short, your mood swings, increased conflict triggers, things that can just cause the conflict. Different things. Money conversations.
Well, yeah.
In-laws.
Yeah. So we're using.
Parenting.
So we're using seasonal affective disorder
But
as
it's
a
for
springboard.
everybody.
As
Yeah.
a springboard.
Yeah.
So guys, some people are really like, I heard sad and they're talking about this and that. But what we're saying is we're using that as a springboard and sad as the acronym. And this is a holiday, post-holiday time. And Sister Taylor's just sharing some of those things that
Right.
can push us in different ways. What's up, preacher?
Hey,
Pastor
Pastor
Maria rolling
Meshach.
with us. He had a great
Yes.
sermon today.
Yes,
Amen.
Go back
Great
and
word, great word.
rebroadcast and check it out.
Yes.
He said it's a
It's a
God,
God
thing,
thing.
and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that is amazing because when we think about this post-holiday blues, and guys, you can drop it in the chat if you did feel post-holiday blues. Was it kind of leaning towards a situational thing, kind of an economic thing, or a family thing? Because when you can understand it, that's the best way to begin to deal with it.
Yeah. No, that's real. And I like somebody said they keep the decorations up, and you gotta have, I don't want to say find ways to trick yourself into getting past it, but you gotta find ways to focus that energy. I just be transparent. I'm one of those sad people, one of those 9% that Malcolm mentioned, and it's not only been in my adult life, it's been my entire life. If you look at my transcripts, the worst semesters were always the winter semesters, and when was on quarters, the winter quarter, because it was this dip. And I realized that with Thanksgiving, you got something to look forward to. With Christmas, you got something to look forward to. And for those in my household, we look forward to our family members coming to Dayton, Ohio. So there was always these distractions. But after January, there were no distractions. And so one year, like Nicole mentioned, I had my Christmas lights up in my room till literally the next school year started. just as a way of trying to focus that energy and listening to Christmas related music or things like that were kind of ways to pull me out. Now I know vitamin D helps and trying to refocus that energy, something to pour it into. But it is that way of trying to move yourself past the quote quote sad feelings and into a way of channeling that into something where you can enjoy joy again.
Right. Because if you think about it though, we have, like you said, after we leave Thanksgiving and we're going to the month of December, you have the lights, you have the trees, you have the Christmas music, and then you know that family is coming. So you just have these all of these different things that you're planning and you're doing for one day.
For one day.
And then that one day comes and goes.
Yeah.
And then everybody is gone. The house is back quiet. About. And then we're back to, okay, I got to go to work. You know, back to the hustle bustle of taking kids to school if you have younger ones, or just the daily routines of life.
Yes.
So And for me, I would say the holidays a lot of times brings the remembering those times from the past, those who passed away. For me, it was my father, it was my grandmother, those days of how it used to be when we were younger, and all the family was together and having a good time. So a lot of times, certain things would trigger those memories and create that sadness for me during the holidays.
Warm and fuzzies.
The warm and fuzzies,
Now,
it may be a song,
gone.
or it may be, you know, seeing something on TV, that, you know, a movie that we used to watch. So
those things can definitely trigger. And Shadow says, I think we have to make new normals by making family occasions in the new year outside of the holidays. That is so true, and that's a good
that's good
idea, Shadow. Good idea.
And be careful of your triggers, right? You know, because if it pushes you there, you may want to kind of give it a break for a second or two. And, you know, if you guys didn't know, Pastor Rashid, you know, we're cousins. So we shared those holiday times together, especially for Christmas. And our family, we were like glue. I mean, everybody was just stuck together, right? So I could see how that could bring those types of feelings. But like for me, it's more so like the music, right? So like the OJ's family reunion, you know, like if you listen to it at the wrong time, I mean, that can really break you down. You know?
That's true.
You hear doom, 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 doom.
Family reunion. And I'm like, oh man, you know, it's nice to see grandma and all that kind of stuff. You're like, wow, those things are not going to come back.
Not going to come back.
But they were so enjoyable when you had them.
That's true.
Right. And like in Kim Jacobs says too, it wasn't post-holiday blues for me, but holiday blues in general. I absolutely love Christmas, but this year was different due to so many deaths. And I can agree with you, whether it was within your family or a friend, a close person that you knew that had death in their family.
And I think that's the gift and the curse of having church family, and because it may not even be your family that's experiencing it immediately, but you get those updates of we are mourning the loss, we regret to inform you, condolences, and then it reminds you of those, as Michael said, those triggers of the person you've lost. That's right. And so you're kind of bombarded with loss all month long, maybe. And so if you're already in that space, you can almost feel like you're drowning in dearly departeds.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think that, okay, so like you and Yvonne, do you think around the holiday time you all you have the same emotional feelings around the holidays, or do you experience something kind of different?
That's a good question.
Because, you know, two people can experience the same season very differently.
So you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
So I'm an extrovert, and she's an introvert. So the cure for me is the problem for her. right? So I want to be around people if I'm feeling low. I want to be around family but her, it's overwhelming, right? So we have both lost our fathers, so we're both experiencing it.
Yes.
Both of our fathers, coincidentally, were huge Christmas people.
Yeah.
So you experiencing that, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to. Uncle my uncle is Malcolm's dad.
Yeah.
And so he's the closest thing to my father. So I want to be with family at that
vicinity.
time. And for her, she's like, I really just want to sit right here and watch movies until we fall asleep, right? And so it's kind of that negotiation of trying to, okay, how do I get out of my funk, or how do I get out of my depressed state, not clinically, but emotionally in that moment, and how do we keep her from going deeper into hers, or how do we get her out of that? And so it is that kind of thing of trying to navigate those. Okay, we'll do Christmas Eve, but we won't do Christmas, or we'll do Christmas and we won't do Christmas Eve, or something like that, to try to make sure that both of us are being fed.
Yeah,
and I was going to say the same, or along the same thing. It is difficult, and you have to try to figure that out. I'm sorry. It is difficult, and you have to try and figure that out, within the relationship. So,
So, Vaughn, that's why you always silent on some of those invitations.
We go to the very last thing. I'm like, yes, I guess I go ahead.
You invite somebody, you say, hey, let's get together and eat, and all they do is like it. Like, is that... Does like mean
But the thing is, we know that about Vaughn. We know that she's an introvert, but we love her anyway, because I'm like Rashid. I am a people person. I'm an extrovert, and honestly, Malcolm is an introvert, but
slash extrovert.
Depending on
really
who it is, right?
At the house,
but he knows that. So we look at things differently too around the holiday time. He knows that Nicole is going to plan A, B, C, and D. And he's just sitting there looking like, okay. But because we've been together for years, he accepts that. And then I accept that after the holidays, he's like, okay, we slowing things down.
Right.
Let's not plan anything for the next couple of months. So then that's where that sadness come in for me.
She's telling the truth.
You sure you don't want to go to a New Year's celebration? No, that's
sure. I know you're tired, but you're gonna be out all night. Come on. But and that's the thing too, and that's good. You guys create a balance with each other, and then the encouraging piece is and oftentimes we do want to be alone when we feel a certain way. But even from a clinical perspective, like being around people, it does help. But then here's another thing too. It can drain you as well. So it's one of those things, like, I know this is a help, but it is a drain. And then you just have to have that good mix that you guys have developed together. Because people who don't totally understand will be like, girl, get off your couch and come on. Or get out your bed and come on. But if it drains too much, then I'm really at a deficit more than I was if I would have just stayed at home.
That's right.
But you do need balance.
You do.
Yeah, you do. And that comes... expectations come into play, around this time. Like, typically Malcolm will say, okay, Nicole, I know how you are about the holiday seasons around this time.
That's right.
What's the expectation of money in terms of spending? And then what's the expectation of, items or different things that we want to do or with family. So, and that's important to me, that you should sit down with your spouse and talk about these things, so that the expectations are there to know how we're going to handle these things. And again, especially if two people are on different, how we deal with the seasons. If we're feeling a certain way differently, that is something that you want to talk about with your spouse. And even if you're not married, I mean, these are things that, as we're talking about post-holiday blues, if you are single or whatnot, or in a relationship, these are, this is for you too, And
if you're single, you develop that safe friendship circle. And because you don't want to get in where somebody doesn't necessarily care about you, but you want that safe friendship circle where you can kind of, have a voice to talk to, because we are people. I mean, people naturally want to be around people. Even if you don't want to be around people, you still want somebody. Even the devil wants somebody, to be around them. And that's just how we are naturally. And that's what's so crazy. Like, you'll go to a park and nobody necessarily knows each other, but we all want to be in that park together.
Right,
And you feel funny if you go to an empty park.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And on a good day, nice,
Uh-huh.
it's like this park.
What kind of
But
setup?
if it's 1,000 people that you don't know any one of them, you feel good about it.
Yeah.
But Shadow, she said, my husband and I have the same dynamic, introverted and he's extroverted. I found that I do compromise when I do. Let me help me out. I don't have my glasses. I found that I do compromise. It is healing for me. That's great.
In a way, I just need time afterwards to recharge my social batteries.
Yeah. That's cool. So you,
Right
thank you. You admitted to that. And Sister J, she's called Let's Be Encouraged though, but we appreciate you being on. It's good that you accept. So she's telling.
She said it's good that
Rashid
we can accept the other's way of dealing and make both ways work. So it's that compromise. You know,
appreciate that affirmation, Sister J.
Amen.
Yeah. So guys, that's the deal. If you're married, single, or if your relationship is complicated, in those times you just need that person, right? And then if you don't have a person, like if you are truly alone, that's when you seek professional help, right? And professional help from someone who really is empathetic, right? Sometimes we might say, oh, they don't care about me, I'm paying them to talk to me. But if they have empathy, then that empathetic situation that they're allowing you to be in, it goes a long way.
Right.
And I think sometimes that blues, and Nicole kind of touched on it already, is that there's an expectation. There's this idea that we have that, we'll bake the cookies, we'll pop the popcorn, and we'll all snuggle into our favorite chairs and we'll watch Christmas movies together, and we'll laugh, and we'll have the days of old. But especially if you have young adult children, they're like, okay, how long until I'm going to leave you? How long until I call Boo or Bay or, whoever? And so I think that a lot of times that can kind of sap the energy out of the current situation in the moment of Christmas and those things. But then you're looking back after 2 weeks of being off and you're like, man, I didn't connect with the kids in the way that I wanted to. I didn't get to spend the time that I wanted to. I didn't get to spend the time with my spouse the way I wanted to because we had too many people over or what have you. And so a lot of times going back to work feels like a letdown because you didn't get what you had hoped for, not just from the present side of it, but you didn't get the presence of the people that you hoped for or the opportunity to spend that time that you were looking forward to.
And that goes back to when I was talking about expectations, the expectations. And so what I've learned to do is, because I know I do have expectations about around the holiday time or certain things, I'll tell Malcolm, okay, this is what I want to do or would like to do. And I even tell our young adult children, look, I would like for you to spend some time with your parents. I know you are planning to go here and do that, but can you include us in your plan?
Pencil us in.
Pencil us in, and
put us on a schedule.
I remember once when Sydney said, "Mom, I'm going to Montgomery for Thanksgiving." I said, "Oh no, you're not." But that my expectation was that, as family, we need to be together. You can go and do other things after, so those expectations are there.
And it's hard. It's okay. You're right. If I'm going to Montgomery, you're going to see other family. You can kind of make that trade off. But if you're just going to hang out with, I won't call them randoms, but I know you just going to hang out with people like, really on Thanksgiving? Like,
well, it was other family, but I said ours come first. Ours come first.
Sometimes it can be random.
Definitely.
Like I had a hard time with that this year because my daughter was trying to go hang out and all of that, and I'm used to us putting up the Christmas decorations together, us doing all of this. And I looked up, I'm like, oh, it's just me. She abandoned me for the holidays.
And you already in your feelings.
I'm already in my feelings, exactly. So I had to bring myself back from that.
That was a conversation that I think we constantly kept having because our daughter was in a new relationship, or relatively new for us. And so it was, we were like, but when we were falling in love and when we were going through all of those feelings, this is what we had hoped for. We would, we were wondering like, hey, Mom, I'm going to be gone, or hey, Dad, I'm going to be. So we tried to understand that, but it was extremely difficult because we had expectations of this kind of sitting around the hearth and just enjoying the lights and all this other stuff. So it was a wake up call.
Right.
So now we get into the part of the show where we're going to call it a reset. So how do we work through this thing and sort of reset? Do we have?
How do we reconnect?
Okay, reconnect. Reset, reconnect.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think it's very good that we should reconnect with our, and I'm speaking from a marriage, as a spouse.
Yes.
Do check-ins. You know, we're getting better with those weekly check-ins. You know, in terms because you're busy. You're back to the hustle and bustle again. And I remember, I think it was last week. You know, I knew Malcolm had a lot to do, and although I work from home, I'm there and I'm working and I'm trying to multitask different things too. It's just that I'm at home doing different things, and he's out. And I just looked at him and I said, you know, are you okay? You know, what can I do to help you to make your day better? Like, what can I do while I'm here to help you? So I believe it's definitely important as couples to check in to see where you are mental wise, as well as just the day-to-day things that we do. And even, again, I always say this, checking in with your children, whether they're younger, young adults, like, you know, checking in with them, how are you? And they may say, oh, well, I'm good, Mom. I'm like, well, no, I mean, mental wise, like, how are you? Is there anything we need to know that we need to talk about? So I would say weekly check-ins is a good way to start.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And I think these new routine, setting a new routine, right? Because like what's got you down is your old routine, right? Your old way, and I don't want to call it old, guys, like as if you need to start something brand new and just forget the past. But it's what's behind you that's pulling you down. Right. So then sometimes we got to set a new routine, you know,
that's true.
Change the space, you know, if you work from home, work in another room, you know, or change the room you're in around, you know, just do something just a little bit different that doesn't necessarily cost you any money. Even at on your job, you know, instead of taking the elevator, take the steps, you know, just something a little bit different, you know, if the steps are too much, ride the elevator and sing a song, you know, just something that kind of changes the routine up just a little bit that gives you a little space so that you can work through whatever. Yeah,
because a routine can quickly become a rut, right? Like it's so comfortable, it's so familiar that it becomes a place that you're now stuck in. And it started out as a habit. It started out as a way of trying to maybe bring balance, but now you are trapped in this cycle. And you know, and so we have become those people where we order our groceries online. We you know we did, and so we like we need to actually get out.
Go to the grocery store.
Let's go to the grocery store.
I forget we can do that. Yes, so old school. I forget. I was like, man, I could have ordered this at home. Right?
Yes, and so tonight is one of those examples. When we leave here, we're actually going somewhere and walking around and trying to enjoy each other's company, other than just Netflix and chilling for the 33rd Saturday in a row.
Working your way towards the 52nd Saturday, and that's all year. Exactly.
And I also one of the things I started this last year. But then since we started the new normals, I started back this year is, before, working from home, I really didn't have a certain time that I had to get up. Right. So I'm more of a night person. I'm really not an early person, but I get up. I can get up. So I started, my alarm would set it to go off at 6:00 in the morning so that I could get up and go into my work office to spend some quality time with God before I start doing anything, which I do that anyway, but I got up and went into the office, and so Malcolm be like, where you going? Where you going? So I was like, this is my new norm. I'm starting, I'm getting up and so I've been doing that. And then I'm tired by the end of the day and I'm ready to go to bed. Right. So that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to do that. Just break the routine and start a new normal for things and make sure that after I spend some time with God, I get my exercise in and then I'm ready for work. So starting something new, as you stated.
Yeah, that's good. That's right. That's good. All right, Sister J said change can be good from time to time. And Shadow, thank you for supporting the great ideas. And our sister Teresa, great points too. Thank you for that. And Henrietta, I have 2 grown boys. And they make a fuss on my birthday.
I like that.
Oh, happy birthday, January 11th. To help get me back, to help reconnect. That's good. Okay, so you got people in your life that love you and like, hey, almost that slap.
Right.
Come on.
And that's important when you have those loved ones who actually notice that about you and take the time to actually do that for you.
Yeah.
You need that.
You do.
Right, being intentional, and then that lets you know that somebody's observing.
That's right.
And saying like,
That's
hey,
right.
you're not the same. I see
Right.
something going on, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see you. Yeah.
I see you.
But what is one thing you wish you could do, go back to December and do differently? I mean, what's one thing that you wish you could do differently? What?
Not eat so much.
Oh.
Yeah, I tell my, and I'm not saying that like, how we always say, we say that every year, like I am just not going to be a glutton, but it's kind of like you make a plate, then you make another plate, then you eat some dessert, then you make another plate.
But you really don't eat a lot of food.
Yeah, but it's still like, I feel like
desserts.
I eat too much.
But you don't eat a lot of food, right?
Me, press rewind, wouldn't eat so much.
Okay.
I know that's kind of cliche-ish, but
Oh, that's good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the thing, this was our first year in 4 years that we didn't go on a couples cruise, just the two of us, and kind of get that reset before we went into the holiday season. And so it kind of dragged us down. I mean, she had a major surgery, so she was laid up for 6 weeks. So that was kind of the reason we didn't. But it was, looking back, I would have planned for the year to end that way, so that we could at least get a personal reset, so we weren't going back into work like, oh, here comes work, here comes this. We hit the holiday season refreshed already, and then we could meet whatever challenges come January 1st.
Yeah. And I think actually taking the time to make a date with my kids during that time.
You can see where her focus is. These children are driving.
But
Sister
I mean, the
Taylor
vacation
crazy.
for us too.
No,
yeah, I'm right there. But you already mentioned that, so I had to go somewhere else.
Okay.
But yes, just intentional about making that time with our kids. They're grown and
They are.
they work and they have their lives.
Yeah.
So just taking the time to do more with them, I think.
Well, you took mine, Vaughn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, we try to do it, but sometimes they deny us.
Ours do too.
Your request has been denied.
Yes, but and also spending more time with some other family members too. This past Christmas, I was lazy. I really was in the mood like, I don't want to do too much, more so. But spend more time with loved ones, and definitely our young adults too, our children. We call them children because they'll always be our babies, right? Babies. But what I've also learned to do is let them know. I try to let them know in advance and say, hey guys, when are you off work, or what days are you off during the holidays? Let's take one day and try to do something together as a family, because I do believe that's important.
It
I
is.
believe that's important.
It is. Thank you, Henrietta, for rolling with me. And yes, not eat too much. Yeah.
Not eat too much.
All right. So is there another one, like a little nugget on the sheet that we can share?
Another reset tip?
Yeah.
Another reset.
Let's see.
Well, we've talked about check-in, and I definitely believe as couples that being intentional with check-ins with each other, especially if you're irritated with one another, coming out of it, definitely. We talked about devotion, getting up, and actually. Not just sitting there in the bed, but actually getting up. That's my new normal. So being intentional about that, and so more so, I think check-in has to really be, I don't want to say investigative, but sort of, right? Like, how was your day is the default setting, right? Like we all ask that. Yeah. But then go beyond that. Even with our adult children, right? Like, how was your day? Or are you good? Yeah, I'm good. Well, what makes it good?
Right.
What makes it? What made today a good day? What was the best thing that happened to you today? Same thing. She and I work together, so we drive to work together. We come home together. We eat together. We
24/7 together.
We are
24/7.
So now it's like, okay, what can I ask her that makes me get to the heart of her, as opposed to just what was her agenda or itinerary or what actually happened today. So I think we got to kind of be more purposeful with our check-ins of asking those questions. but also telling. She was like, "Why are you so lovey-dovey?" And so one of her,
wait, you don't want to be lovey-dovey.
She's like, "You're so extra nice."
Yeah, a little bit different.
But it was feeling those feelings that we talked about at the top of the show, and then so it was kind of like I wanted to experience her or feel her in a closer kind of way. So we went to the movies on Tuesday. We went to dinner another day just because I really wanted to because our life can become adult children focused. I needed that kind of reset. So I had to articulate that I need to feel you with me in a way that I may not have needed 2 weeks ago, but for whatever reason or for whatever I'm going through, I need that right now. So that was another way of not only her checking in, but also me articulating the needs that I was having as I was experiencing the effective side of this thing.
That's great communication. Yeah, that is. We see what Shadow wrote. I wish I was more appreciative of the time
I did have with loved ones instead of letting grief consume me.
Mercy. Mercy.
And the origin of your grief may be around bereavement or something like that. And and to just be honest, because this is a brother and sisterhood that we have right here. And when I say that, you guys out there online and we here in this podcast, and that's when we tell each other, right, where we're honest with each other. It would be good to talk to somebody, professionally who's grounded on the Christian side, but then has a professional counseling background as well, because that's some things we need to unpack. When the grief is that tough and you can't really enjoy your family, because you need another perspective, right? Because perception controls our reality. So you're perceiving grief at a level that's causing you not to enjoy what the reality is in front of you. And the reality that's in front of you is you got some people that you love and that loves you, but you can't enjoy them. So then that's when we need to talk to somebody. But then I love what you put next, that your husband is nudging you to go on this cruise.
Amen.
Yeah.
Shadow, please do that. Please go on this cruise.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And even with Discipleship Academy, that's our Sabbath school class. We kind of talked about that this morning, our view on things from a Christian Jesus perspective and how we can start dealing with things. But thank you for sharing. And we love that, Vaughn. You pick up your husband from work and y'all eat together, right? And Sister J, you're right. Grief of any kind is no joke. I tell you. So that's an empathetic statement you just made, Sister J. So thank you for that.
And I'm not sure how it works with depression, but I was reading a devotion. Well, my student was reading the devotion the other day, and it was a pastor / therapist, and they mentioned that anxiety and gratitude cannot exist in the brain at the same time. As you are being thankful and celebrating what God has done, or in the instance of grieving a loved one, it's hard or nearly impossible for you to experience anxiety because your mind is focused on being thankful for this thing, or thankful for this time, or thankful for this person. And so I would wager that it probably works in at least in alleviating some of the feelings of depression and grief as you're celebrating, because it can become a blanket that we just cover ourselves in and don't let the outside light in when we're focused on the loss of this person, the absence of this person. I'm going to go to dinner and I used to eat her rolls, or I'm going to go to dinner and I used to eat her fill in the blank dish, and now you don't have that. That becomes the focus, as opposed to, man, she would have really loved this time. She would really be amazed at seeing her grandson, or he would be amazed at seeing his grandson. He looks just like him. All of these things are now the focus instead of the loss and the absence that may be a little helpful of just trying to get through the grieving season.
So you're basically saying focus on the memories. Yes, focus on the memories and be grateful for those.
And the life that brought you that so much joy.
Right.
Definitely.
And it was something else you said in terms when you were talking about you and Vaughn connecting and what
he wanted to feel her.
Right. You may not have felt that way 2 weeks ago, but you needed. And that's important because sometimes what happens, we will get irritated and we take it out on our spouses instead of telling them what we need in that moment or at that time. Because I know sometimes we may start snapping. And then when I think about it, I'm like, for one, we haven't been spending enough quality time because we're doing something for others, or just wearing so many hats. And then we both said, let's do something, even if it's go out to dinner. I mean, we eat together all the time, but make it an extra special.
Yes.
Right.
Let's go to this top-notch restaurant. If Brother Taylor don't mind spending the coin, let's go to this restaurant, or let's just cuddle or lay in the bed a little, linger a little longer, to reconnect, so that we're not snapping at each other unnecessarily about, what I mean? When you're doing things, and you're not focused on your spouse like you should, because I got A, B, C, D, D. Then if they say something, you like, what?
And it ain't even about them.
It's not. And coming from the holidays, again into January, you've been busy, and so reconnecting with your spouse is important, or someone if you're not in a relationship.
All right, Brother Nutha Lapati, we're glad you're rolling with us. But guys, what we're talking about today, I mean, even from the clinical side of things, we're really explaining the two main, and I don't want to call it disorders, guys, but it still affects us: anxiety and depression. So, when you say anxiety, and you start saying words like worry and, different things like that, that's just anxiety. And so what we talk about with depression, when we start talking about grief, that is a form of depression. But here's the thing, and I tell my clients, like when you are suffering from grief, it's like you're walking down a stairwell away from the light, but the stairwell you're going down is total pitch black darkness, right? So you're going away from the light, right? And the further you get away from it, the more lost you get, right? And you can go so deep into that stairwell that you don't see the light anymore. And that's when, suicidal ideation comes in and different things like that. But I tell people, when you feel yourself going down that stairwell, that's when you ask somebody for help. That's when you reach out. That's when you say something, because, silence, you never want to suffer in silence. You need to say something to somebody who's responsible. Not somebody that just kind of doesn't understand and can't give you any feedback themselves. And if you're talking to somebody else that's depressed, you need to say we. You need to go get some help. Right? You talk to somebody that is responsible and can help you to turn around and come back to that light, so that you can begin to see
accountability
and see your way and to see your way out.
That's good.
And then even, just to go with what you've just said, like, going, now we're in this new year, we can ask ourselves, like, what are some, to prepare, what are some things that we can think about doing or not doing into this new year in terms of before we get to the holidays,
One I think is see December coming in January. Right.
I like that.
See December coming. I was in Dollar General the other day, and I sell snacks to my students from time to time. And so there was a lady who had armloads and armloads and armloads of stuff at Dollar General, and she just, I forgot this. So she went and got another basket and added to the basket that she already had, but everything was marked off 70% off of the lowest price. So she was getting certain $10 stuff for like 35 cents or whatever. But she was already preparing for Christmas in January. And so if we are aware of what we experience traditionally in the holidays, and we know the lull that's coming afterwards, we can prepare ourselves for that. We just like we said, we missed our Christmas cruise. We didn't realize how it would impact us going back to work. We were kind of like, all right, you lost 6 weeks of work. We need to make up that money somewhere else, right? So we kind of said we could live without that, but we realized that, okay, now come what may, we don't know what diagnoses are coming and what problems may be coming, but let's start making sure that we can get away so that we can regroup and regather ourselves going into what will be 2027 then. So we kind of look at those things, knowing the hiccups and obstacles that are going to come emotionally and psychologically, and let's try to brace ourselves for December as early as possible.
Prepare now. I like that.
I do too.
Sister J said that helps a lot by focusing on the good memories. That is why I take a dose of laughter. It's good medicine for the soul. Daily by remembering how my late husband and I carried on. That's awesome, where you can just look back and smile and enjoy that.
And I like what Joel says. Community Cover should do a couples cruise. And Shadow said like a couples retreat. I don't know how many people signed. That's a lot of planning.
Man. Because you gotta have something to do when they get there.
Well, if it's a carnival cruise, it's always something. That boat is gonna be rocking on its own.
You just come.
Plan a cruise and be like, okay, we're here. We're gonna do a couple of activities, but you're on your own.
Yes,
Nobody,
you are on your own.
I'm not responsible for anybody.
We will have the couples breakfast every morning from 8:30 to 8:45. Yeah.
And don't judge me.
Exactly. What happens on the cruise stays on the cruise.
That's right.
That's it.
So, guys, we've been talking about post-holiday blues, what that looks like. Sometimes it's not always just depression. It can be fatigue. It can be anxiety. It can be irritability, those different things, or thinking about the loss of a loved one. And so we've talked about what that looks like and how can we maneuver through this post-holiday season. And definitely, again, it's reconnecting. First of all, we want to always, I don't even want to call it reconnect, but connect with Christ. But if we've lost that relationship with Christ, then we do want to reconnect with him, because he is the person that can get us through any and everything that we may go through, no matter what it is. But definitely, if you're in a relationship, reconnecting with your spouse, not allowing whatever has happened during the holiday seasons to affect you in a way where, it takes you, it pulls you from who you are, and being able to see that and know that, okay, I'm going through this, where we said sad, but we're calling it post because, we're out of the holiday season right now. But just being able to, like my husband said, if you have to get a counselor or a therapist or an accountability partner, someone that can definitely see what you're going through and someone that's intentional, that really cares about you, to help guide you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is.
Yeah, I didn't want to break your flow because you were flowing.
Jesus and a therapist. They work well together.
They do. They really do.
That's
they
right,
really
right.
do. Yeah, and from the preacher all the way down to the last person in the church, we all could use one at times, right?
And so before we close out, I don't know if our producer can put up the Harlem Renaissance for Couples Evening producer, but that is February the 14th, guys. If you have not signed up, if you receive our e-newsletter, look at it. You can register there through Church Center. Also watch on Saturday when they're running the informational flyer about it. But Couples Family Ministry is having a Harlem Renaissance Evening of Romance. I
don't think the producer heard you. He was he was working through some things. But he's looking for it. But here's the thing: you don't have to be married, right? It's for you and your boo.
Yeah.
Or you and your almost boo, or you. And
hope to be boo.
Yeah. Sometimes we hear about these things and they're like, oh, that's for married people.
No,
not at all.
Yes.
We want you to come and we want you to enjoy it. And
there we go.
Yeah. So we want you to come and enjoy and then see how we roll, right? And it really helps. So
thank you, producer. So here it is. Okay, he's
he's
working
getting
it out.
ready.
He's working it out.
And I hear you, Vaughn. I know you said you can't come, but if you ever near,
That's
may want
right.
to.
Yeah.
So scan that QR code if you're interested, or even if you live maybe an hour and a half away, you want to attend, it's okay. Register, but you have to register, guys.
Sister J said, "Let me find the booth."
Let him find the booth.
That's it.
Yeah,
Amen.
have a good time. So, guys, we want to thank you for rolling with us. We want to thank the Taylors for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
They've been on with us plenty of times before. But guys, we just want to let you know, we thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes.
And remember, like what Sister Taylor said, if you find yourself just in this post-holiday slump, do those things that we suggested to you, and we're in this new normal. So you just embrace what God has for you.
Amen.
And He'll always make it plain for
That's
you.
right.
Yes.
So we thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And remember, every third Saturday of the month,
Amen.
we've got Committed and Covered.
Yes.
Unless there's some other event that we have to kind of, make room for. But we thank you for coming out, guys. And we're asking the Lord to bless and keep you until we see each other again. We love you. Bye.
Bye.